Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a profoundly inspiring narrative, one that's centered entirely around Krishna's advice for personal change. We all have those mornings, right? We wake up, we look at our lives, and we just wish for a miracle. We wish our destiny would magically shift overnight. We make these huge promises to ourselves, and then, almost on autopilot, we fall right back into our old routines. Well, the text we're exploring today completely flips that entire script on its head. It uses this masterful story to show us that the power, it isn't in our destiny at all. It's actually hidden somewhere much closer to home. So really think about this for a second. If God changed your destiny right now, could you actually handle it? It's a pretty intense question, but it's a powerful hook from our source text that instantly challenges how we view success. We literally spend so much time begging for better luck or a better situation, completely ignoring whether or not we're equipped to maintain that success if it were just suddenly handed to us. To answer this, the text introduces us to a really fascinating character study. All right, that brings us to section 1, the illusion of destiny. Here, we begin with Arav's story, a young guy who constantly blames his luck for his unfulfilled dreams, right up until Krishna appears to reveal a pretty hard truth.
See, Arav had spent years just sitting under the stars, dreaming of becoming a super successful businessman, traveling the world and giving his parents this beautiful life. But as the years passed, the only thing that actually increased was his age. So Krishna asks Arav to write down those massive dreams on the front of a piece of paper. The big house, the business, the happiness, the whole shebang. But then he asks him to flip the paper over and write down his daily habits. Suddenly Arav hesitates, because on the back he has to list sleeping late, endless scrolling on his phone, and constant procrastination. Krishna points out this undeniable reality. Arav's dreams are huge, but the habits meant to achieve them are incredibly small. Arav wasn't losing to the world, he was losing to his own habits.
And this leads to Krishna completely redefining a word we use as an excuse every single day: impossible, or asambhav. He explains that impossible doesn't mean a task is too hard, not at all. It simply means you have not yet become the person capable of doing it. Let that sink in. Personal transformation absolutely has to precede external success. If you change yourself, your world will automatically begin to change. Let's move on to section 2, calming the restless mind. The next morning, Krishna takes Arav to a perfectly still, crystal clear lake to teach him a crucial lesson about internal focus. So the water is so calm, it's reflecting the entire sky, and Arav can see his own face perfectly. But then, Krishna tosses a small stone into the water, and Arav's reflection instantly vanishes. Staring at that distorted water, Arav admits his biggest insecurity, asking, why do we constantly compare ourselves to others? He feels like everyone else is moving faster than him, just leaving him behind. Krishna explains that our true potential never actually disappears, but our anger, our fear, and those constant comparisons, they act like ripples, completely hiding our true identity. Krishna then gives this brilliant comparison. Think about it. When a mango tree yields sweet fruit and a banyan tree provides vast shade, do they ever feel jealousy toward one another? Of course not. They each have an entirely different purpose. The lesson here is so profound. The moment you stop measuring your speed against someone else's timeline and start focusing purely on your own path, half of your internal fear and restlessness just evaporates. Now that the mind is a bit calmer, we enter section 3, breaking the habit bundle. Here, Krishna hands Arav a bundle of wooden sticks for a really practical demonstration. First, Krishna hands Arav a single wooden stick, which he snaps effortlessly. But then, he hands him a thick bundle of 10 sticks tied tightly together. Arav uses all his strength, but there's no way. He can't even bend them. That tightly tied bundle represents our daily struggles: laziness, mobile addiction, constant excuses, self-doubt, and fear of failure. Krishna explains that a single bad habit, easy to break, but when we let them bundle together, they feel absolutely invincible. We start to believe we can literally never change. But the secret is, these habits haven't become unbreakable, they're just tied together. You don't have to break the whole bundle at once. The secret to untying that bundle is just 1%. Seriously, 1%. If you reduce your mobile time just a tiny bit one day, cut back on excuses the next, and just aim to be 1% better every single day, the bundle naturally falls apart. Krishna beautifully notes that the Himalayas are built from tiny grains of sand, and the ocean is filled drop by drop. By improving just 1% daily, in a year's time, you'll be completely unrecognizable. But hey, transformation is never a straight line, is it? That brings us to section 4, ignoring the world's mockery. Because when you try to change for yourself, social resistance is basically inevitable. So, for 7 days, Arav is highly motivated. He's waking up early, building these great new habits. But on the 8th day, he hits a wall. His friends notice what he's doing, and they brutally mock him. They laugh, telling he'll be back to his old, lazy self in a couple days. Arav is crushed. He's ready to give up entirely. And at this exact moment of doubt, Krishna asks him a really critical question. When the world laughs at you, do you change for them or for your own life? If you're changing just to prove a point to society, the first sign of mockery will break you. But if you're changing for yourself, their laughter shouldn't matter at all. To drive this home, Krishna takes Arav to a half-dead tree. Arav looks at it and only sees the dry, dead wood, but Krishna points out a single tiny branch sprouting fresh, new green leaves. He tells Arav that people are exactly like this tree. Critics will always focus on your dead branches, your past mistakes, your flaws, but you must focus on your new growth. Change doesn't announce itself with loud noise. It sneaks in quietly through daily habits. You have to ignore the mockery and focus entirely on those new leaves you're growing. Which leads us to the absolute hardest phase of the journey, section 5, the purpose of hardships often referred to as the dark soil. Arav is doing everything right. He's steadily improving when sudden tragedy strikes. His father falls severely ill, plunging the family into a dire financial crisis. Heartbroken and rejected by everyone he asks for help, Arav cries out to Krishna. He asks why this is happening now, right when he finally started doing the right things. Instead of fake comfort, Krishna hands Arav a small seed. He says a seed is buried in the pitch-black dark soil, not to be destroyed, but so it can finally grow. If the seed gave up because it was surrounded by darkness, it would never become a tree. Krishna reframes Arav's hardship not as a punishment for his past, but as a necessary preparation for his future. Consider how this works across nature. Think about it. Iron must be subjected to intense fire to become a sharp, useful sword. Gold has to endure intense heat to reveal its brilliant shine. And humans? Well, we must go through hardship to awaken our true inner power. Krishna tells Arav that life isn't punishing him, it's preparing him. These trials are testing whether his transformation is real or just a performance for the good days. Empowered by this understanding, Arav faces his struggles head-on, leading us to our final chapter, Section 6, the ultimate daily transformation. Over the next year, this incredible journey unfolds. Just trace it back. 1 year ago, Arav was a guy finding excuses and living in constant fear of failure. 6 months ago, he was in the trenches, making those 1% daily changes despite enduring intense personal hardships. And today, he doesn't complain. Instead of finding excuses, he finds solutions. He takes full responsibility for his life. When Krishna asks him if his destiny has finally changed, Arav smiles and says, "No. Before my destiny could change, I changed." And that perfectly encapsulates the core thesis of this entire explainer. Don't fight the world, just be better than yesterday's you. True transformation doesn't come from battling external circumstances or weeding around for some miraculous shift in luck. It comes from the quiet daily commitment to simply outgrow the person you were 24 hours ago. So, I want you to look at your own bundle of sticks. Look at your daily routines. What is the one small habit you will change today? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Remember, impossible only lives in a mind that refuses to change. Take that 1% step today.